Welcome back to another podcast. My name is Peter Kirwan. I'm the Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Western Australia. And with me today, I have the Deputy Grand Master of the Grand Lodge, Daniel Ganon. Hey, Danny.
Hi, Grand Master. How are you today?
Oh, surviving.
Good. I'm pleased to hear.
Make sure you stay that distance away.
I have 4 square metres around me, Grand Master, I can assure you.
But, what we're thinking of doing is talking about the Masonic side of what's happening right at the moment, what we are currently doing and what we plan to do behind the scenes. And I'd like to start off with just a couple of points. The first one I want to concentrate on is the MAP, the Masonic Assistance Program. I have put an appeal out for some people to come and help out, act as volunteers that can go around and assist those that are in need. And I've had a great response of some young guys. Unfortunately, after that started, we had the regional boundaries put into place. So we're probably looking for some more country people to help out within their regions. So I'll be putting a special appeal out for that, but please don't forget that that assistance program is in place, mainly aimed at the younger brethren that can be coordinated or directed to other people, not necessarily directly in the Freemasons family, but connected to the Masonic family, and help them where their support mechanism has been closed down or been put into isolation, and or we can help them out with supply of goods and services. So that's something. And I think the Deputy Grand Master is one of the ones that was pushing for this kind of program as well. Danny, myself and the Grand Almoner, Gordon Falls, will be coordinating that, and Gordon will be the state coordinator, and he'll organise his regional coordinators across the board. So that's still in place, and it's a bit of paperwork behind that, and we'll also be making sure everybody gets guidelines of what they have to adhere to when they go and assist with people. And you may even have to be given some correspondence to prove that you're actually out there helping people out, because if they're driving around, and police may stop them randomly and saying, why are you driving? We can organise a letter involved with that. Also, next step is the Grand Lodge office. The actual Grand Lodge office is physically closed to everybody. You can't come in here, pick up things, you can't organise to do things, but the staff and the actual virtual office is still going. A lot of things have been done. We've got Cherie working from home. Amanda is taking some leave at the moment for various reasons. And we are trying to operate as well as we can. We still need lodges to send to us advices of people that have passed away, people that have changed address, people that change phone numbers, any contact details. Now is a great opportunity for lodges to make sure their contact addresses and details are up to date. You should be contacting your lodges, and a lot of lodges are doing that. But that, if you find there's a change, we need to know as well, because if we have to send out a flyer to everybody, we want to make sure we've got the correct emails. And we're also doing a lot of work in the ceremonial side as well. And this is one of the reasons why Danny's here, is he actually chairs what we call the CPC, the Ceremonial Procedures Committee. And as the Deputy Grand Master, he controls that. And they've been doing a lot of work. And there's a couple of things I think you've just finalised, Danny. There's things like the Grand Masters, Stewards, the position that we can have in lodges where you can actually install 2 masters at the same time, and things like we've concluded a concordat with the Grand Lodge of Scotland.
Yep.
Do you want to go through and talk about any of those?
Certainly. Thank you, Grand Master. I guess just because Freemasonry isn't meeting and lodges aren't able to come together doesn't mean that the work stops. In fact, this is a golden opportunity for us to be able to continue on in subcommittee and through the Board of Grand Lodge to have some of the policy changes passed that we've been discussing for quite some time. So as the Grand Master briefly mentioned, there are probably 3 or 4 key initiatives that have been discussed over a period of time, and we've now come to a point where we have confirmed those in policy. A couple of them will need to go to the Board of Grand Lodge to be finalised, but we can certainly discuss those quite widely at the moment. I guess the first one which the Grand Master mentioned was the introduction of the Grand Master Stewards. This is a program by which the Grand Master will initiate himself, in which certain individuals who are Master Masons currently in their lodges and are not currently a junior or senior Grand Warden
Not Grand Warden, Wardens.
Sorry, senior or junior warden. Goodness me, I'm promoting them already. Maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. Where they would be invited to come and participate in Grand Lodge. The idea here is to give them a view as to the workings of Grand Lodge and to help support the Grand team, particularly as we come out of this COVID-19 environment, where I'm sure all will understand that we're all going to be particularly busy in trying to meet the needs of all our constituent lodges. Once that particular individual becomes a warden within their lodge, they will then go back to their lodge and will relinquish their Grand Lodge opportunity, but will always be invited to participate in Grand Lodge once they're through the chair. This is an initiative that works very well on the East Coast, and it's one in which we can start to engage with the newer members in the craft and get them to have a look at what Grand Lodge looks like and pique their interest a little bit as to what possibly might a future path be for them within the Constitution. The other thing that we've just... Sorry, Grandmaster, please.
But add to that too, we're organising special regalia for them, and for those who have been involved with the English Constitution and the Grand Stewards have a separate red regalia, red collar, red jewel. We've organised some regalia for these Grand Stewards. There'll only probably be about 6, but they'll be wearing red aprons. They'll have rosettes because they won't be past masters, and they'll have a standard steward's jewel with a red collar.
Fantastic, and we're very much looking forward to seeing the first Grand Stewards out and about once we're back and able to be able to meet. One of the other key initiatives that we've been discussing is what's known as a concordat, which is an agreement that exists between ourselves and our most closely related constitution, being the District Grand Lodge of Scotland, under the Grand Lodge of Scotland here in Western Australia. And this, quite simply, is an agreement between the Grand Lodge of Scotland and the District Grand Lodge of Western Australia and the Western Australian Constitution that we will provide information backwards and forwards between our constitutions, particularly when it comes to members who are no longer a member of a particular constitution. So if a member of the West Australian Constitution, for whatever reason, is no longer a Freemason within our constitution for a number of different purposes, then that information will be provided to the Grand Lodge of Scotland. Grandmaster, would you like to just give a few comments as to why it was necessary for us to move to this?
Yes, there was a couple of issues where members of either one of the constitutions were going to be excluded, but they resigned first, and they were excluded for various different reasons. So they just resigned from the constitution and went straight across the other constitution and joined. There's no clearance papers or anything else because by the time they left the other one, no process had been done, and they were cleared in good standing, and they just rejoined. But if you're not fit enough to be a Freemason in one constitution, you shouldn't automatically be allowed to just go and join another one. And this is also to fix that up as well. And we are finding some brethren that are just trying to avoid paying fees. So they become an associate member of one and resigning from another, and they just keep changing between the two. So this is why we need to have some communication. We have the exact same type of concordat with Grand Chapter. So if somebody becomes unfinancial in Grand Chapter, you get excluded in Grand Lodge, and vice versa. If you become unfinancial in Grand Lodge, you get excluded in Grand Chapter. So the same thing comes into effect.
Fantastic, thank you. And I think you'll all agree and understand that particularly in these difficult days, and when we resume and are able to meet in our own lodges, the cooperation that's going to be necessary between the two constitutions will become even more important as we start to resurface and certainly breathe life back into our wonderful craft. One of the other interesting initiatives of our Grand Master is the notion of installing 2 masters into any one lodge. The reason for this is that we have a number of Master Masons in lodges who are at an age or in a circumstance, be it they're a FIFO worker, be it that they are a carer for somebody at home, who simply don't have the opportunity to be able to step up and take the chair in their particular lodge. So the Grand Master has worked with the Grand Inspector of Workings and the CPC to create a change to the ritual which would allow for 2 masters to be installed in any one lodge in any one year. And that would be up to the lodge in terms of which master may rule on any particular meeting, which master may be the master for the year. But what it does do is give an opportunity for those who ordinarily would never have the chance to experience being a worshipful master to actually be able to be installed into the chair and experience that as and when that particular lodge deems it might be necessary, or as and when circumstances allow that person to be able to run a particular meeting. It's a wonderful initiative, and I thank the Grand Master very much for his guidance and leadership in this. More details will be coming out to you shortly, but we're certainly excited once we resume to be able to complete a couple of these ceremonies. So I guess all of the update today was simply to say that even though we may not be meeting, we may not be shaking each other's hands, we certainly are working hard in the background to make sure that when we do resume, we'll be up and running and be able to hit the ground running with both feet. So Grand Master, thank you for the opportunity to have this conversation, and I trust it won't be too much longer before we can do it again.
Thumbs up. Can't shake your hand. Thumbs up. Thank you, one and all.
Virtual fist pump.